Hey, how are you guys doing?
We're doing well from South Texas.
Awesome, awesome. So, welcome to the Rockstar District presentation. You are Brownsville ISD down in the valley, and I'm going to let you have the floor. You've got 15 minutes to explain, share how you guys are making it work in 2021 due to COVID. So, I'm going to take myself out of the picture and put the spotlight on you. So, here we go.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I know things have been very difficult for several of us. We've realized that we're just not tired. We're extremely tired. We're still waiting for summer to begin so we can take some vacation time. It hasn't really happened yet, but so we wanted to talk about how to meet operational expenses during school year 2021. I know during all this time, everything is very uncertain. And what we've been working at is ensuring that we can identify all of our expenses and our revenues and see how we can break even. Of course, one of the biggest things we're trying to do at Brownsville ISD, we have over 41,000 enrolled students in our district, and it's been very hard to find our virtual kids. So FNS, as you know, and most of you are self-funded. And in order to avoid any kind of staff furloughs for the school year 2021, I calculated our break-even meal point. And in order to calculate that break-even meal point, we needed to know the expenses. So these are the expenses that we looked at, figuring out our labor cost for an 8-hour day of all of our food and nutrition services staff, figuring out, of course, our food costs per meal. We're currently running the National School Lunch, School Breakfast, and the CACFP Supper Program. We chose to select the most higher cost meal in order to make sure we would be fine. Then, of course, calculating our non-food costs for all the 3 meals. Everyone knows that that's definitely increasing. We're having to use, of course, other things we didn't have to use so much of before. We're having to use extra trays that are sealable, lids, bags to distribute, and make sure we're contactless, extra gloves, sanitizer, and all those costs continue to go up. I was in shock. The cost of a case of gloves was $116, but it is what it is. And then, of course, we have processed commodities. While they are an expense, but they do credit. And my assistant director, Jackie Cruz, will go ahead and go over that a little bit more. And then, of course, we also had to know the revenues. So currently, BISD is operating these programs at 40 campuses plus 68 bus stop routes. Currently, our point of sale system is happening with the barcode IDs for our school breakfast, national school, and supper, plus any name and age that we receive from any community people that are less than school age, again, 0 to 18. So again, we have our reimbursements for breakfast, lunch, and supper. And then something else that's been happening most recently has been the plate sales to parents. They have enough time to come and get their child's plate, so they are starting to buy the meals from us, a one-stop shop, which has been wonderful. So what we're gonna do is we're going to show you our Excel spreadsheet that we created in order to help. And I'm going to zoom in, and this can be sent to you. Lori Ramos has it. It can be sent to at any time. All this information, anything in yellow can be altered. It is not protected in any way, shape, or form. So we just took out what it costs for everybody in FNS, that includes everybody, to get paid for in one day. This is our daily rate. And I just calculated out to 180 days, instructional days, and it extended out to almost $9 million. We took out our food expenses for breakfast, lunch, CACFP, and paper goods for 5 days. Again, you can alter this if you need to. Our goal was 13,000 students for each of the meals. We started breakfast and lunch from the very beginning, but we didn't start supper until this week, when we finally received guidance from Texas Department of Ag of what we needed to do for nutrition education. So this is how much money, $11 million will be the food and non-food expenses. So when you add the two together, you have $20 million that we're going to have to come up with. So we're like, okay, how are we gonna make that? So what we did basically is, again, the same number, 13,000. We operated breakfast and lunch starting since day one. We didn't start supper until there was 165 days or 3 weeks into it.
Laura,
And this,
Laura, this is Carrie. I'm going to interrupt you real quick. We cannot see your spreadsheet. We're still seeing your PowerPoint
oh,
presentation.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
How do I share that part then? Let me go back real, I
If you've
apologize.
got two monitors, just drag the spreadsheet over into the monitor you're sharing.
Hold on. Thank you for stopping me. I could have been here for an hour.
No worries.
Oh no, for 7 more minutes, right? Because I don't have that much time.
You're doing fine. You have until
Sorry.
10:45.
Share screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. I am so sorry, everyone. I'm going to go back and try to do the short version because Jackie has a lot to do too. So again, this is our employee labor, our day rate for 180 days. This is what it translates to be. Our school breakfast expenses for each of the meals. Again, we do use quite a bit of commodity in here, which is why our cost is lower. Our goal is we're distributing 5 days a week, 13,000 students for every meal. Again, we started breakfast and lunch from the beginning, so we're planning for 36 weeks for supper, 33, and our paper goods cost. So again, the combined total is 20 million. So again, with the goal of 13,000, we had to figure out what is that going to generate in revenue. So these are the total number of meals it calculates to based on the number of days, and then the reimbursement rates. And so for the total for all 3 meals, because we're doing one distribution for all 3 meals, it's $9.61. So when we added all the reimbursement up, it's to 21 million. Of course, it's great. Should be, that's our goal, should be greater than the expenses. And I took this number and divided it by the total reimbursement just to have an idea of how many students I would need to feed over the year. And this is how many I needed to feed for the year. Based on the number of operating sites that you have, this can be altered. So again, for 34 sites, I'd have to feed this many per month. And then over 165 days, it's this many per year. Once I open 40 sites or number of sites. So this can be editable to however you need it. If anybody needs any guidance, feel free to contact me. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this and let Jackie continue. And she can go ahead and talk about her side of it. Our apologies. And we're going to go ahead and continue there.
Okay, well, as Ms. Villarreal shared with you, Brownsville ISD, like so many other districts, is consistently and continuously examining fiscally responsible practices and different ways that support a high quality output, and also the school nutrition program's commitment to its program recipients. So one of the ways that we do this is through managing our commodities. And this one, what I'm going to talk about today is specifically commodity processing and how we track it. So the ISD receives about $2.4 million in entitlement funds, and 2.1 million of those entitlement funds are used for direct diversion. And currently we directly divert to 15 manufacturers who process over 50 products for us. So given that entitlement funds comprise about 87% of our PAL, managing our commodity usage is not only paramount, but it's got to be a continuing process that requires ongoing tracking, analyzing, and adjusting. So, as I mentioned, BISD utilizes a variety of commodity discount types, such as net off invoice, fee for service, whether it be through a distributor. However, for us, we have found that FFS, direct to district, actually is the most advantageous because we're able to cut out, and I'm sorry, but the intermediary. And so it really does, it benefits us not only in terms of, cost savings, but also we're able to control when it comes in and how we want it to come in. So through, our team consists of 3 supervisors, and our 3 supervisors basically track commodity processed foods. And up until this past year, we were using we're just using multiple tracking tools. So we had a separate commodity value table that basically demonstrated to us how much, what is the fee for service, and what is the donated food value per case, and then the combined total. So that was one tool. Then we had another tool that was called the commodity food tracker, and that one was basically showing us, okay, how much are we ordering? When are we supposed to be receiving it? When is it going out? How many pounds have we used? How many cases? So all of that information was in a separate tool. Then we also had the commodity calculators that were provided by our manufacturers that we process with, and those were very helpful. But again, that is, was a separate tool. Then we also had our vendor commodity reports that were provided by, in this case, our distributor, Labatt. So we were also looking at that one. We also had a pallet configuration table because that's important to know for our warehouse staff. How are these coming? Do we have to purchase by pallets? And then of course, a lead time table that was telling us, okay, how far in advance do we need to order? And not only that, but or do you deliver on certain days? Because then again, since we use just in time, that does affect the way that we're receiving. It's going out for the date of service. So from all of this information, our donated food bank summary was born. And I say that because it took a lot of work because you had to combine all of that information into one. And so the way that we approached it wasn't so much from just like an Excel spreadsheet, but we looked at it like, how are we going to manage our project? So it's more of a project management tool. And it provides us with usage detail, forecasting, velocity, reporting, and purchase history. And equally important, the donated food bank summary more than anything is a communication tool because we share it with all. So our menu planner, Ms. Villarreal, is able to look at that and say, okay, how many servings do we have available? How many cases do we have left available based on our balance? Our warehouse staff also looks at that because they've got to look at it and say, okay, when is it coming in? When does it need to go out? And of course, our procurement specialists look at it because we need to make sure that we're maintaining purchase orders as well. So other features that our donated food bank summary have are product code. And I'm gonna show this to all of you right now, but I just kind of want to give you an overview. The product description, what is the PO number? What is the balance on that PO? Because so many times we're not paying attention to that and we continue to order and not realize that we don't have any money left in our POs. Order date, the menu date, the number of cases, how many pounds have we used? What is the processing fee? How many number of servings do we have based on, and we can track this, for example, based on monthly usage and how much we're ordering per month. Ms. Villarreal can take a look at it and say, okay, I can menu it so many times during the next couple of months. And that's very important because we also need to make sure that we're managing our menu and not planning in advance if we're not going to have those commodity pounds available, and thus the product is not going to be available. The nutrition label, the delivery date, and the monthly orders. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share that with you so that you can see how we use it. Thank you, Ms. Villarreal.
I'm Vanna.
We're going to get that right now. I don't know if it's, can you see that? Can anybody see the donated food bank summary on the screen?
No, we're still just seeing the two of you.
Okay, just a moment. We're going to get that.
Let me see if I can get this over here.
Okay. Thank you for being patient.
Let me go back here and see if it's an option.
Not to make you feel nervous, but I thought I'd fill this space to share that currently we have 235 attendees viewing your session.
Oh, well, thank you.
No pressure. We're good.
Okay. So as I mentioned, we do have a donated, we have a summary page, and I'll go back and show that to you. But as I mentioned, we process with over 15 manufacturers. So the way that this project, the way that this file is set up is that we have individual pages for individual manufacturers. And I'm going to go ahead and just share with you JM Smuckers because this is sort of basic. And then I will tie that back into the summary page so that you're able to look at that. But the first thing that we have on each of our tabs is we have, of course, the manufacturer's name. What is the material number? And the allocation pounds that we were allocated. We get this from TX UMPS from our survey. If we have any carryover pounds or transfer pounds, it would be reflected here. What is our current usage? What is our balance? And then the same information is also demonstrated, but in terms of money value here. Of course, our percentage usage. And there's more information on this side, but I'll go over that with you in just a moment. So for this presentation, we're looking at our product code. What is our product code for the PB&J 2.6 grade jelly on wheat? We also have the CN label number. What is the PO number? This is very important. Our order dates are broken down by month. So basically the menu date and the total number of cases ordered and the pounds used are all going to relate based on monthly compilation. Here's our menu date. So I'm using October, for example. In October, if I click on this, it's telling me here that for B, which is breakfast, we're gonna menu it on the 9th and the 30th of October. If there were lunch, it would be indicated by an L. And for supper, we have these dates right here. So if I click on this hyperlink, it's going to take me to another page here, which is gonna show our menu. And here we have it highlighted so that anybody who's looking at this can say, okay, here we go. This is when you're menuing it. If I go back over here on total number of cases ordered, again, this is a summary of what we've ordered for that month. And if I click on this one right here, it's going to take me to a commodity deliveries calendar. And on here for October, you can see that we've got 500 cases on the 5th, 500 cases to arrive on the 12th, and 750 on the 19th. So if I go back over here, you're going to see that that totals up to 1750. And of course, here it's adding up and summing up the pounds used, the discount received, and the processing fee. This is important because what this is telling me is that I generated a $160,000 PO, and I've already used 155,000 of that for this. So if I wanted to go in here and add another 500 for November, I'm going to surpass that, and I'm going to be in violation of our district's procurement law. So this is very important for us. Also, if you kind of look at this right here, it also will add it up for you and give you an average of the different orders. The total number of servings, this is also important because in October, we are approximating that we're gonna serve 13,000 kids a day. And with that, my boss, Ms. Villarreal, knows that she can use this product for another 2 menu dates. And just really quickly here, this is just information that we've taken. Should we want to go with another product, we know right here what they are available. And then this is also taken from processor links. So just quickly, I'm going to go back to our summary page, because in our summary page, we have everything here broken down by processor, the commodity, the same information is here. And this is very important because we're not looking at these by products, we're looking at it as overall, how much of our commodity are we using? And when you get into products like Tyson, JTM, you're looking at pork, beef, and chicken. So our individual tabs compile all of that information. So we're very proud of this. This has helped. For example, here, you can tell that the same information that was on the individual tab, 43,000 was allocated. And this is our balance, which is tied in. All of this information is not manipulated. We don't go in here and complete it. It is all dependent on the individual tabs doing its job by adding everything in together.
That spreadsheet is amazing because you are presenting to the spreadsheet queen over here, and I'm impressed. Wow. So I just want to thank you guys. I know we're out of time for your Rockstar presentation, but that was truly inspiring. And I know that Lori has uploaded your PowerPoint presentation to the session on the agenda so that any attendee can download that. Also, any attendee in this session can reach out to you, both of you as speakers, and ask for more information on that spreadsheet that looks like rocket science. So to many, I'm sure. But I just want to thank you guys so much. Let me turn my video back on. I want to thank you so much for presenting and signing up for this. I'm sure those watching gathered some great information. So thank you again.